Hey everybody, how's it going? It's J-Rod back again, and I want to talk about a bit more free agency. So far, I've broken down my Chicago Bulls free agency. I talked a little bit about the Houston Rockets and how I thought people weren't really looking at those contracts properly. Some changes to the Dylan Brooks one. My thoughts on that video, are still the same. My thoughts today are basically still the same as they were in that video. But in today's video, I want to talk about a team that I think did really well in free agency. And in my next 2 to 3 videos, I think that's going to be what I'm doing. At least in my next 2 to 3 Hoops Talks. I am working on getting a new video out, hopefully by the end of this week, like an actual scripted full-length video. But in the meantime, I'm working on a few Hoops Talks, just talking about teams I think did well or didn't do well in free agency. And maybe I'll do a general breakdown of more teams. But specifically today, as the title implies, I want to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers, because I think the Lakers won free agency, but I want to talk about what does that mean? They won free agency, but okay, what about it? What's next? And, of course, this is by the world's biggest munch myself. Let's get into it. So what did the Lakers do? First thing they did, they re-signed Austin Reeves to a 4-year, $56 million contract. That is one hell of a deal. I don't think it's I don't think it's the best signing, like people have been saying. People have been calling this the best signing. I don't think it's, or they've been calling it the best contract in free agency. I don't think it is. I think paying Austin Reeves $25 million a year for what he did that last season would have been a bit of an overpay. He was good, but it was a relatively smaller sample size. And I think he can be good, but I'm saying that if you told me last season that this was close to the contract Austin Reeves would be getting, like, okay, yeah, that's pretty fair. And who knows, this could be a steal, and I'm very ready and willing to admit it was a steal, and I think it is a steal, but I don't think it's the best contract in free agency. And maybe I'll think so in 2 to 3 months, so who knows. Rui Hachimura, 3 years, $51 million. Do I love the amount? No. But do I understand it? Yes. The Lakers wanted to keep a lot of the core, and they wanted to keep a lot of their young guys, a lot of the guys that got from their trade deadline deals. Rui Hachimura, it was really good, and I think he could immediately play up to this contract. And I think there were points where he played up to or surpassed this contract. I think this isn't the biggest contract in the world. I don't think this is the end of the world either. D'Angelo Russell, 2 years, $37 million. Same sort of deal. It's a little bit more than I would have wanted, but also I think it was this one. I'm actually like, yeah, this is a good deal, because Russell's coming off like 29, 27 million a year. Coming off a lot of money, so I was expecting him to be looking for at least 20 M's a year. But hey, just south of that is pretty good for him, and it's pretty good for the Lakers. So I'm pretty pro that deal. And then we get into the new signings, and I like most of these a lot. Gabe Vincent, 3 years, $33 million. I really like that deal. I think Gabe Vincent, he showed we could be last year as a creator and a shooter for the Heat, especially as a catch-and-shoot shooter, which I think is going to be great. Same with Taurean Prince. He was one of the best catch-and-shoot three-pointers in the league, or not one of the best, but at least for the players I think the Lakers could get, he was probably one of the best. And he actually shot really well from the corner three-point line, so I'm really big on this Taurean Prince signing. He's going to be a good defender. He's able to fit into a few positions. I like this for it. Cam Reddish, I'm hesitant on. I don't hate it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not a rotation player, which I don't love for Cam Reddish. But I don't hate it. And Jackson Hayes, same thing. Don't hate it. Don't know. I think he's going to be a rotation player purely on necessity. I think there are better centers, so that's the only thing. I think he isn't exactly what the Lakers needed from a backup center, but he's pretty young still, so the upside's still there. And so, like, what does this mean? I think, you got a ton of great shooters back. You got a lot of great shooters. Vincent, Prince, I didn't list him, but Reeves, and best case scenario, Russell. He was a very good shooter on the Wolves. He was a very good shooter when they first got him, and that was part of the reason they got him, was he was shooting well again. So I think Russell is going to be, in the best case scenario, good. Worst case scenario, you still got to respect his shot. They filled a lot of holes in their roster, a lot of depth issues. In the areas that they didn't do that, they upgraded in, upgrading Dennis Schroeder to Gabe Vincent, upgrading Troy Brown Jr. to Taurean Prince. There was moves they made that were nice upgrades. And they did something that the Lakers haven't been doing. It's something that LeBron teams specifically just never really do. They maintained a lot of the roster. Most of the core of last year's roster, the conference finals team, is here again, which I think was really smart, especially just not only because they were good players, but because it really helps to have some continuity. So yeah, they kept a lot of what they needed to. They got what's good around LeBron, and they upgraded in a lot of areas. But I don't know if this makes them contenders. I think they got some nice young pieces. They got some good proven vets and some Taurean Princes. Gabe Vincent's coming up on now being a proven vet after a finals run. And yeah, Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes may not be rotation players potentially, like worst case scenario, but either way, $2.3 million a year for very high upside players. I take it. Like I said, I'm not very sure of this Jackson Hayes fit. I think that was a hole I was waiting to see how they'd fill, especially after they did like the Mo Bamba or Thomas Bryant's last year. I felt like they really needed a backup center behind Davis, and especially one that you could trust to be your go-to center, your starting center, because there's going to be games where Davis is going to miss it, or he's going to need to sit, or he's going to need to rest. And you know, not to harp on Davis specifically, that's just part of being a star player, or part of having a star player. And Davis is a star player that has had a decent injury history. So I don't know. It would be nice to be able to have a good enough center that you feel confident in resting Davis. But I could be wrong about Hayes, like I haven't been about the others. And I'm mixed on like I said, I'm mixed on the Cam Reddish signing for both sides. I kind of feel like Reddish could have gone somewhere where he was a bit more needed. He's another one where the high upside of Reddish, I think, is really good for the Lakers. So you, in that scenario, then I guess he is going to be needed. He's going to get, he's going to fill that Troy Brown Jr. role, just probably more, taking those minutes with Taurean Prince. But I don't know. I think there's other scenarios that are better for him, and maybe there are better signs out there for the Lakers. I really don't hate it for the Lakers. I know I put a mix on both sides, but this was kind of a no-lose signing for the Lakers, because it's a 2-year, $4.6 million deal. You really don't owe him anything, and he's young. So I guess it's a win for them. I would have liked to see somebody else, but I'm assuming that this was probably the best player they could get for that much money, so I don't blame them for doing it. But my main question with all of this is, are they better than the Nuggets? And I know the Nuggets got worse. They lost Jeff Green. They lost Bruce Brown. They're not the same team fully as they were last year right now. They replaced it with like Justin Holiday. I think, was there a player from overseas? I think I'm thinking of the Kings. The Kings got that player from overseas, but I thought the Nuggets had one as well. But either way, I still think when you look at the West and you look at the teams, does this make the Lakers better than the Nuggets? I'm not certain. I can't say for sure. I think there's a lot of issues that the Lakers, I think there's still a few issues that the Lakers have, and I think there's not a lot of issues the Nuggets have. I think the Nuggets, despite getting worse, in my head, that's still the NBA Finals favorite and like the title favorite to me. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to hear what you guys think down below, so please comment down below what you think. Let me know if you think this makes the Lakers better than the Nuggets. Let me know if you agree with me, that you think the Lakers won free agency, because I'm having a hard time thinking of a team who had a better free agent class than the Lakers. So yeah. But as always, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.